Everybody to stand. We'll have an invocation. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. We want to ask your blessing on the men and women that protect and guard our freedom. Bless them and keep them safe from harm. We want to ask that you're with us today and that you help us to do the best things for this community, and we ask that you bless this community and everybody that's in attendance today. In your Son's name we ask. Amen. Amen. Let the record show that we have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order, and Councilmember Bamert will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you'll join me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. It is at this time in our meeting that we're always glad to welcome visitors and receive public comment. We're glad that everybody's here today. Mr. Platt, we're glad that you're here. Thank you, sir. You're our only actual visitor.
Actually, the chief would like to introduce him.
Yeah, Chief, and would you like to introduce him to us?
Thank you. With us today is Rex Plant. Rex is going to be the new officer. He's taking Logan's place that left us a couple of weeks ago. Rex may be new to us, but he's not new to the area. He's been working with the county district attorney's office for a little over a year now and striving to fill in West Texas. And though he comes up from the east, I promise I wouldn't call him a Yankee tonight. But we do welcome him here, and he loves it here. So, Rex Plant.
All right. We're glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the city family.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
We're excited about your employment with us. Glad that you're here. We're glad that the staff's here. Gil, we're glad you're with us today too. And thanks to the staff for being here. Slater, it's good to have you. Appreciate you keeping us out of trouble. If there's anyone like to make any public comment at this time, we'll open the floor. If not, we'll go ahead and get started on our agenda. First thing we'd like to do is approve the minutes of the council meeting of September the 11th of this year. I trust you all read those, and I'll make a motion we approve them.
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is consider ordinance number 0502-1017, which amends Appendix A of our fee schedule. And I'm going to let Leanne go over all those fees.
Okay. Council's had a chance to look over that ordinance. There's a few changes that I'm proposing that we adjust. Ramon and I met with the Airport Advisory Board week before last, I guess now, and they actually are recommending some changes to the fee schedule. The hangar rent currently at the T hangars there has been $100 for the last few years, and they're actually recommending that we go up on those to $125. And then the new hangar that council approved that we build, they recommend $300 rental on that hangar. So those are some changes. That's something that's being added. Next is licensing fees for animal control. Those haven't been adjusted in several years, so I'm proposing some increases there. Licensing from $5 to $10 a year. Impoundment, currently it's $15 plus $5 per day after 3 days. I'm proposing $20 plus $10 a day. Cats, $6 plus $2 per day after 3 days. That's current, proposing $10 plus $5 a day. And then finally livestock, current's $15 plus $7 a day. I'm proposing $25 plus $10 a day. Then moving on, if y'all remember back in August you approved a right-of-way ordinance and a design manual that addressed cell phone towers that the legislature addressed in this 85th legislative session. So there's some fees that we can charge with that. As you know, in lieu of franchise fees, they'll only be paying a $250 fee per year. And so there are some fees that we can charge upfront. So I'm proposing a $250 application fee that will include the design review. And then $1,000 per pole, $500 for up to 5 nodes, and an additional $250 per node. We've not been approached as of yet, but we look to be approached about cell phone towers. So this is something that would address that. And then finally, current law now prohibits us from charging contractor fees and permit fees to electricians. So we've made that change in this ordinance also and removed those fees that we used to charge electricians.
Anybody have any questions about those changes?
Make a motion, we approve that ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve that ordinance. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is consider resolution number R-32-1017, which involves bank signatories. And I'll let Leanne explain why we're changing that and how we're going to go about it.
Okay. AIM Bank is requiring a resolution for bank signators. Whenever we went to pick up a signature card, whenever Councilman Bamert came on the council, they told us that with the change with AIM Bank, that they wouldn't allow us to make those changes as we've made in the past without a resolution. So this resolution simply states that with each change that we make, we'll be making a change to the appendix that will be attached to that resolution, so that that doesn't have to keep coming back time and time again. So we'll just simply make a change to the appendix for the signatories who will sign on city accounts.
Any questions? I'll make a motion that we approve that resolution.
Second.
And we have a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing I'd like to do is to consider resolution number R-732-1017, which is the submission of application for the home grant program. So, have some new rules to follow now, so we're going to redo our application.
We're actually in the new funding for the home grant, and so this resolution allows staff to submit an application, Texas Community Housing and Community Affairs, for a home grant. Under the new rules, y'all remember the old rules allowed us to construct homes of $80,000. This new program, construction will be up to $100,000 for homes. And we believe, and our grant consultants believe, that this will make this project, or these projects, more attractive to out-of-town contractors, because there's just more money involved.
This also increases the amount of in-kind service that we do
It
in the
does.
city.
It does. But as contractors' costs go up, so do our cost. So we don't see a problem in meeting those amounts.
And this just leaves it open for us to decide how many homes we want to do later.
Normally we do 4. That part of that depends on the folks who apply. We've been able to build several of these homes over the last several years, and so there's not as many folks now as there was at one time who actually qualify for these homes. And it's a pretty stringent qualification process. So some of that is, the number of homes that we build is determined by that also.
Any other questions?
Make a motion, we approve resolution 733-1017.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve that resolution. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Next thing we'd like to do is consider recommendations from the MEDC for appointment to the MEDC board. We have 2 positions that have expired, and we have a memo here from MEDC that says that Dustin Clevenger and Colt Ellis have both agreed to serve another term, and so, that's for your information, unless you want to make nominations for anybody else.
Casey, would you like to address council with that?
No, I would just say that is their recommendation. They serve at y'all's pleasure, and so they have been great board members, and we've had some interesting discussion, and so they bring those to you for consideration. So that is up to y'all.
Good. I'll make a motion, we reappoint both of those gentlemen.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. And would you pass on our sincere appreciation for
Yes,
their
sir.
service? Appreciate them volunteering to do that again.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate that. Next thing we'd like to do is to consider a request for hotel motel tax funds from Kenzi Green, DBA Mary Market. And she has, I think we have a notation here that she's asked for $1,000 for the Muleshoe Mary Market. And now, is this for the one or is this for both of them?
No, she does, the Mary Market happens in November each
Right.
year. And she's asking for $1,000 to help for the advertisement and promotion of that event. In my notes, I think I said that she's hosted this for the last 7 or 8 years. It's actually been 6 years. And it's very successful. She, all of her booth space is taken.
Good.
So I have lots of folks. It's one of the first of the season, I think, at least right here in our immediate area. And so a very successful event. And this is the first time that she's requested funds.
Good. Any other questions about that?
Make a motion, we approve up to $1,000.
I second.
A motion and a second to approve up to $1,000 for of hotel motel tax money for the Mary Market. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. And do you have a date for that?
Yes, I'm sorry, November 3rd.
November 3rd. Cool.
At the Bailey County Coliseum.
Next thing we'd like to do is receive the investment report and financial statement for the quarter that ended September 30th. I trust y'all have all reviewed that financial statement and report, and I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Do we have a second? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. That brings us to the administrative reports.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Bamert has moved. He sold his house, and therefore he'll no longer be serving in his position as council member. If you recall, he's been in a carryover provision that's provided for in the election code, and so we thank him for his service and appreciate him staying on in that capacity as long as possible. Staff and council members attended Texas Municipal League Conference in Houston last week. I thought it was a great conference. It was great to see some folks, and for y'all who attended, I trust that it was beneficial to you as well. It's some good time, I think, for staff and council to interact outside of council chambers and on a more relaxed stage, maybe. And anyway, I think it was a good time. As I said earlier, the Airport Advisory Board met on September 28th. The board looked at the apartment and what we need to do out there to transform that into a pilot's lounge. Ramon and his guys have actually started some work out there, starting to look at that. They also looked at the new hangar space and discussed hangar rental fees and a courtesy car. That's something that they feel very strongly about and we think would be a good thing. We believe that we've identified a vehicle perhaps that has been awarded actually through the police department. It's a seized vehicle that might be appropriate for a vehicle out there for that. It's a vehicle, we'll be able to cover that under our insurance, but it'll be strictly a courtesy car that folks flying in will be able to use, come to town, spend some money, and then go back out and fly out again. So, Chamber of Commerce is going to be hosting this is their second annual Fire and Ice event, October 21st at the Bailey County Coliseum. We invite everybody to come out. There'll be some live entertainment, live cake auction. For those of you that missed that last year, it was a great time, really brought the community together, and it was really come out and taste some chili and ice cream. And Chamber of Commerce is going to have their new t-shirts out that night. It'll be a great time, so invite everybody to come out and join us for that. Leadership Muleshoe will be November 2nd. The first half of the day will be for businesses, and it'll be held at our new training facility. And the second half is going to be at the high school for high school students. And Casey, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So this was all started with the grant through the Office of the Governor, and so with that grant, we've kind of put together something. There's a lot of businesses that don't have the opportunity to get some leadership training. So we've invited Maddie McLean with Leading EDG, who we've been working with, and also Jody Holland out of Amarillo to do some presentations, and he'll cover some creativity and leading your teams, inspiring engagement, problem solving, sales and marketing, just some beneficial information to the community. And like I said, we'll transition and kind of switch gears a little bit to the high school audience that afternoon and kind of just get their gears turned into.
And then finally, on October 31st, the city has been invited to participate with the Muleshoe High School in their career day. And not only Muleshoe High School, but there's some area towns that will be coming in as well. Chief Rice will be there, Ramon will be there. They'll both have a staff member with them. Casey and I will be there, and just to talk to kids about employment opportunities that we have through the city. We have opportunities for education and advancement, and we feel like it's a great opportunity for us to highlight the city and the work that we do. I've also asked Mayor Black to join us that day. While it's not a paying position, I think it's important for kids to know that there are other ways to serve their communities, and by serving as mayor and city council members, that's a great way for that to happen as well. So we'll be there that morning to visit with, they're estimating about 400 high school students coming through that day.
Good.
So, and that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. That leaves it up to us. Any comments or remarks?
Thought the Houston trip was great.
Houston trip was good.
Enjoyed it.
We appreciate the taxpayers allowing us to do that. We really do.
Appreciate all those who contributed to some mighty fine food.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Slater. It was excellent. It was a good conference. I want everybody to practice up on their chili cooking and enter the fire and ice cook-off and their ice cream making. Yeah. It was a lot of fun last year. Had a pretty good turnout, and it's really cool. You can pick up applications here at City Hall
Or the chamber.
or the chamber office, and want everybody to join in and have fun with that. Yeah.
Tickets are also on sale right now.
Yes.
For those who choose not to cook but just want to come out and sample,
That's right.
those are on
Just
sale.
come and partake. It's it is really good, and the music was great. So, also, on October the 19th, there is a fundraiser for the Muleshoe Meals on Wheels. It's over at the courthouse. Chili and frito pie and all the fixing. Just come and support Muleshoe Meals on Wheels, and it's Thursday, October 19th from 11:30 to 1:30. And it's done by donation, and so I'd like for everybody to come out and support Meals on Wheels. And, Anything else? If not, then we are adjourned. Thank you all for being here.